Welcome back, tribe. I have one here from Insolent Audits. Women are begging men to stop going that certain way they're going.
So my guy friend's been seeing this girl for a while, but he told me he doesn't want anything serious with her. And last night he tells me that he's taking her out to dinner on Valentine's Day. And I was like, what? And he was like, what? And I was like, if a guy I was seeing took me out to dinner on Valentine's Day, I would think he's like asking me to be his girlfriend. And he was like, why would you think that? And I was like, why would you think that Valentine's Day is a casual day? I can't even think of a less casual day to a girl. And he was like, no, she doesn't think that. And I was like, are you sure? Are you sure? And now I need to know if I'm just crazy for thinking this or if every other girl would think that too.
The way our generation dates is wild. I mean, firstly, there are a million dating apps, which is not a bad thing because I know beautiful stories and a lot of stories where people get married off of meeting each other on a dating app. But you're basically swiping left or swiping right, depending on how much you find that person physically attractive and vice versa, right? So that's interesting to me. But people are really out here full on dating. I mean, they're on their 10th date. They're traveling together. They're having they're making plans for the future. And then they get the ick about something and they're like, thank you, bye. Ghosted. We're done here. Like we literally took Ariana Grande's song, Thank You Next. Literally. I don't like the way that you smile. Thank you, next. I don't like the way that you chew. Next. I don't like the way that you walk in little slippers. Thank you, next. Like it's crazy because there's a million options, right? So no one is finding stability in dating. They're like, oh wow, if we disagree on something and you're giving me the ick on this, why would I stay when I have a million other choices and a million other swipe right, swipe lefts that I can have and do?
See, that's the perfect way to describe what's happening right now. Situationships, I told you, intimacy is completely gone. Your replacement is a swipe away. There's no marriage. It's a complete joke in the West today. This is the mentality that you go into a potentially long-term relationship. You're constantly battling these so-called icks, and you have to be the most perfect version of yourself that you could possibly be. You're not allowed to have any faults. The ones mainly perpetrating this issue are women. Let's be honest. They have the 1,000-point checklist of what a man needs to be, how he should treat her. And it's an amalgamation of all the men that she's dated. Every single guy was really good at something, and she wants that something in her next man and then some. So she's dated 50 dudes that did 50 different things. The guy she settles with, has to be Mr. 50 man. He's got to do all those things. Because anything less is not deserving of her highness. She's God's gift to earth. That's what dating is like today. That's why the standards have become so delusional. That's why they're so detached from reality. And that's why they're so unhappy with everything. Because getting a taste of all these different men and seeing that you can't find the quote one that's being drilled into your head by society, being told that you do need to settle for nothing, that you bring the table, you are the table. And when you go on dates, you realize that nobody is this perfect. Of course, that leads to mental issues. Of course, that leads to narcissism and delusions of grandeur. That is what it is. There's no coming back from this as a society. You have to go find a woman today, vet her for what I've been saying recently. Self-awareness is more important than it's ever been. It's lacking in people more than it's ever have. Common sense, self-awareness, critical thinking, independent thought. That's something that's extremely difficult to find in people today because they get their cues from this stupid thing. It's attached to people's hands. They're constantly being indoctrinated, brainwashed by this thing. That's the issue. You get a woman that's attached to social media, that's your ass, dude. That's not your woman. That's the world's woman. That's our woman. The Y is silent. You're going to be in so much trouble. I'm telling you. We can't even vet people today for some of the things that we used to vet people for. Honestly, it's ridiculous. Like tattoos used to be an automatic no. Tattoos are ubiquitous today. Almost everybody has tattoos in some form or another somewhere. It's no longer the little druggy addict or the weird creative kind. Just everybody has tattoos. So that's a hard thing to even judge for today. It's just a general rule that typically works, but is less and less effective as time goes on. And tattoos have become accepted in the norm. You could get a girl that looks like the girl next door. Absolutely perfect, absolutely sweet, innocent looking. But she posts on Instagram like every 3-4 hours that she's addicted constantly on her phone, that her snap score is like 1 million. That's the worst woman you could possibly be in a relationship with. And then there's the other chick. She probably has tattoos. It's like a mural of her mother that passed away or something. Who knows? Whatever. It has some sort of meaning. This is a person that thinks for themselves or might not even have a social media account because the self-awareness and the common sense and that one would be a better fit for you. But you take these two women and you look at them face value on the surface, you're picking the girl next door 10 out of 10 times. It's crazy, dude. You have to vet people for their brains now. You have to vet people today more than ever for what's in between their ears because the influence of technology is that powerful. It's crazy. The surface no longer matters. When you meet somebody and they pass your eye check, that's great. It means nothing today. You have to vet them for their addiction and their propensity to be influenced by technology, by social media today. That matters more than anything. You invite social media into your relationship through your woman, your relationship will fail. Believe me.
My peers, my friends are going through so much hardship in dating. And it is not just a one person issue. It's, communication goes both ways and dating goes both ways. But like, you don't think the people that are truly in happy, like marriages didn't fight or that they don't have icks about one another? Like I look at my relationship with 2.5 years with my partner and I think about the amount of good arguments we had to have this beautiful foundation, right? Like there was one point where I was like, wow, we really can't see eye to eye. Like you don't believe what I believe and this is clashing. So how do we figure out a way to meet in the middle? And there's just no more middle in dating in our generation anymore. There's no more finding the middle. And so I don't know, I just needed to rant a little bit because it's a little scary. Like we wonder why divorce rates are super high. We wonder why the marriage rate is super low. We wonder why people aren't getting married or having children. And it's like,
take a look around.
Dating game just sucks these days. It's hard to find someone that's actually compatible with you and doesn't want to play games. You're swiping on the apps, and if you do want to date with someone, they never look like they actually do in their profile picture. So it's like you feel like you're being scammed. No one has a personality, and then no one wants to be in a relationship. It's always like hookup culture, or you feel awkward asking, do you want a relationship? Because it's like weird. You don't feel like you are being spoiled. You don't feel like someone's trying to like win you. It's just like you think and probably know that they're dating like 16 other people at the same time. And so there's so much competition, but then no one wants to be locked down. It's weird. And I'm saying this from experience, okay? Like I have a boyfriend right now and I want to bring up an idea. Think about how the dating game used to be many, many years ago, right? Like I know my grandma and papa literally met in an ice cream parlor and my papa walked up to my grandma and had a conversation. She always tells us the story with so much detail, like how she was so happy that he walked up to her and she gave him a hard time and he kept trying to win her back. And then he became really good friends with my grandma's mom so that the mom would be like, you should go hang out with that boy more often. Like he seems very nice. And so he won over the family before he even won over my grandma. And my grandma still gave him a hard time. And it's just like a cute story between them. I know it's kind of like she's playing hard to get, but she doesn't like to say this, but she also did say that she liked him too. So it's kind of like a fun way to finally date someone. The point is though, they didn't meet on a dating app, right? My grandma and papa are like 80 years old. Okay. I love them to death. They're awesome. But they met because they were out in public and had a normal conversation, right? And my papa pursued my grandma. He went out of his way to pursue my grandma. So what if you did that to someone in the present day, 2024? You walk up to someone and you think is attractive and you start to have a conversation with them and you try to pursue them. And I don't care what gender you are. Like girls, you can walk up to guys that you think are cute and like vice versa. But if you were the only person that walked up to someone in the day and said, I think, I like the way you look, or can I buy you like a meal or like something like that, they are going to remember you 100% because I guarantee no one else is walking up to them and saying, I like the way you look, can I buy you dinner or something like that. Like that, there's no way. Because I guarantee, like when I met my boyfriend, he was the only person that walked up to me that entire day to say hello and start a conversation, okay? Obviously, like there were other days where people walk up to me or like I would walk up to other people, but it never like was a good vibe, which is fine. Like that's part of dating. You just talk to random people until you find a good match. But because he was the only person that walked up to me, he was the only person on my mind and it was exciting. I know everyone's complaining about like, dating's dead. Like it's terrible these days. Like no one even tries. Well,
see that key portion right there? He's the only one that walked up to me. He was the only one in my mind, which made it exciting. Just listen to that real quick. Imagine you're talking to a girl. She's on dating apps. She has like hundreds of matches of all types of guys that she wants to date. Then she has Instagram accounts with God knows how many followers and DMs in there from one single thirst trap. She has all this attention and admiration from men. and you're going out on a date with her, spending your money, your time, trying to prove to this woman that you're worthy of her? Do you see how ass backwards that sounds? You are wasting time with these Western women, going on these dates, spending the limited time you have on somebody who's going to replace you with a swipe if your shirt doesn't match your jeans properly, because that's how superficial they've become due to all the choices that they have. They feel like they don't need to compromise on anything whatsoever. You do one stupid little thing that they don't like, they're going to move on to the next man. Hello, hookup culture. Hello, casual sex exploding. Hello, intimacy all-time low. Marriages all-time low. Divorces all-time high. Think about it, man. And they wonder why men are essentially done with dating completely. They're either getting their passports and going somewhere else completely, or they've checked out of dating permanently because they can't leave and they see everything around them is absolutely trash, and the time invested doesn't warrant the returns on that investment. There's no reason. They rather indulge in their hobbies than deal with this crap. To be treated like a walking wallet, less than, told that you're not needed, that they're independent, they could do it on their own. Come on, it's crazy. Yet we can't have this conversation in society. We can't tell it how it is. We can't bring up these problems on the men's side because we're male supremacists. We're extremists. It's misogyny. It's whatever else they want to call it whenever you attempt to hold the other side accountable. When you attempt to explain the consequences of your actions, you're a patriarchal pig. You're just suppressing women. You're trying to set us back 50 years. You're trying to do this, that, and the other. You're labeled the enemy. Cool, dude. Here it is. More and more women are going to start talking about this stuff, but by then it's too late.
What if you actually did try? Because if you tried, then the person that you're trying to pursue would 100%, number one, remember you, number two, appreciate that you're trying to pursue them and be excited. And then you have a really, really, really good chance of winning them. Does that make sense? So try to be that one person that makes someone's day and do something out of the ordinary, like do something that's uncomfortable, because the more uncomfortable it is for you, you have a much better shot of the other person not experiencing that same thing in the day, right? Like if you walk up to someone and say, hey, what's up? Like, I like the way you look. Let's go out for dinner. They probably did not have anyone say that to them at all on the same day. You have zero competition that way, right? Like there is no one that they are texting that can say that, because you're the only person that actually walked up to them in person. Does that make sense? Anyway, if you're looking for pickup lines, I made other videos on this, but you can easily just say hello, wave your hand, say hello.
Yes, cold approach pickup works 1,000 times better than dating apps. And I always advocate for cold approaches. If you see a pretty girl, go up, say hi. Make sure you look your best when you go out to increase your chances. Dress nice, smell good. Stop by the cafe, the local coffee shop, and just strike up a conversation. Doesn't have to mean you need to get her number. Be outcome independent. And you might run into somebody you like, and it might lead to something like this. Yes, that window is rapidly closing on society. People are becoming more addicted to social media, more introverted, more socially awkward. But on the flip side, that also means that if you're one of the guys that is into cold approaching, your chance of success actually starts to increase, because this phenomenon is happening where almost no men are approaching anymore, and you will stand out in her mind because you'll be completely different from the typical dating app profile dudes and the other guys in her general vicinity, like work. It is in a weird way becoming more and more effective, cold approaching, because the standard today is either finding your partner at work or on a dating app, and that's an uphill battle for most men today. What are some of the comments saying? If you hear a woman saying she needs to be spoiled, run. Ladies, if you want 1940s dating, you have to follow 1940s dating market values, market rules. Remember, men, she wants you to approach if she finds you attractive. If she doesn't, you're a creepy guy that hit on her today. The solution is men to become passport bros and date foreign women, while women go to the woods and date bears. My wallet, my choice. My resources, my choice. My attention, my choice. My time, my choice. Yeah. Men are just throwing that back in their faces the same way women have been doing for years. And men adapted to the environment women created. Ladies, you aren't dating. You're being passed around. I thought they smelled bears. Grizzle. Yeah, a lot of women think being passed around is dating. That's one of the wilder aspects of the hookup culture that we have today. Just the dating market in general. You're getting pumped and dumped, and that's called dating. You're being used by men. And you call it empowerment. You're opening your legs up to men, giving the thing that they want the most. And the most you ask for in return is like hookah and chill and a 2 a.m. text from Chad. And that's empowerment. Boy, did they get fleeced hard by the gynocracy, dude. Holy crap. Imagine, and their grandmas got a house, a ring, a hardworking man, and that's what it took her to open her legs. Women today get a 2 a.m. text. Progress, though, right? Sheesh. We'll see you guys on the next one.